Imagine waking up one day and discovering that an organ you've relied on your entire life, an organ that works non-stop, filtering your blood every minute, has been quietly deteriorating without giving you a single warning sign. No pain, no symptoms, no clues. For years, your kidneys may have been fighting a losing battle against foods you thought were harmless foods you grew up eating. Foods labeled as healthy, foods designed to taste good while slowly overwhelming the delicate filters that keep you alive. The truth is, kidney damage doesn't happen in a dramatic moment. It happens silently, meal by meal, choice by choice. And today, we're going to uncover the hidden foods that push your kidneys toward exhaustion, the dietary habits that drain these vital organs, and the small changes that could save you from a future you never saw coming. Most people go through life assuming that kidney problems only happen to individuals who already have serious illnesses. They believe kidney damage is a sudden event, something dramatic, like a stabbing pain, a severe infection, or an overnight crisis. But the reality is far more unsettling. Kidney damage is almost always slow, silent, and invisible, creeping into your body over years without giving you any warning. You could lose as much of 80% of your kidney function and still feel perfectly fine. Still go to work, still exercise, still enjoy everyday life, all while your kidneys are quietly deteriorating behind the scenes. This slow decline is not caused by rare diseases or extreme situations. In many cases, it is caused by foods people eat every single day. Foods they assume are harmless, foods they've grown up with, foods marketed as healthy, or foods they grab for convenience without thinking twice. The modern diet is filled with ingredients that overload the kidneys, inflame their delicate filters, disrupt their mineral balance, or force them to work far harder than they were ever meant to. Yet, because the damage accumulates silently, many people discover the problem only after it's too late. In this video, we're going to explore the most dangerous foods for your kidneys, but we won't simply list them. We're going to dig deep into the science, the hidden chemicals, the biological mechanisms, and the nutritional traps that lead to kidney damage. You'll understand why these foods are harmful, how they damage kidney function, and what changes can help you protect your kidneys for the rest of your life. The kidneys are often misunderstood. They're not just filters that remove toxins from your bloodstream. They're ultra-sophisticated biological machines that regulate almost every critical process in your body. They control your blood pressure, maintain fluid balance, regulate electrolytes like sodium and potassium, manage hormones that affect bone health, and even help produce red blood cells. Each kidney contains around 1 million microscopic filtering units called nephrons, and each nephron is a masterpiece of biological engineering. But these nephrons are also incredibly delicate. When repeatedly exposed to harmful compounds, additives, excess minerals, or chemical preservatives, they can scar, harden, or lose their ability to filter blood efficiently. And the most frightening part is that nephrons do not regenerate. Once a nephron is damaged, it is gone forever. The remaining nephrons compensate by working harder and filtering more blood, which accelerates their own damage. It's a vicious cycle, one that often goes unnoticed until kidney function has dropped to dangerously low levels. Understanding kidney vulnerability is the key to understanding why certain foods are dangerous. Foods high in salt force the kidneys to retain water and increase blood pressure. Sugary drinks cause insulin spikes that lead to metabolic changes and eventually kidney strain. Foods loaded with phosphorus additives disrupt mineral balance, and excessive protein produces more waste that the kidneys must eliminate. Even foods that seem healthy may contain compounds that the kidneys struggle to process. This is why diet is often the hidden root cause of kidney decline, not because people eat one harmful meal, but because they repeat the same habits every day for years without recognizing the risk. Salt is one of the oldest seasonings in human history, but the salt we consume today is not the same as the salt our ancestors used. Our bodies evolved to handle small amounts of natural salt. What they did not evolve to handle is the enormous amount of artificially added sodium pumped into processed foods. Restaurant meals, fast foods, snacks, and packaged products. When you eat too much sodium, several damaging things happen inside your body. First, your blood volume increases because sodium holds onto water. This extra fluid raises your blood pressure, and high blood pressure is one of the leading causes of kidney disease. Second, the kidneys must work overtime to excrete the extra sodium. Over years, this chronic burden contributes to nephron damage and scarring. Third, high sodium disrupts the balance of electrolytes, affecting hormone levels and leading to long-term kidney stress. The problem is not the salt you sprinkle from a shaker. The real issue is hidden sodium, which makes up over 70% of a modern person's intake. Frozen meals, canned soups, instant noodles, salad dressings, bread, pastries, pizza, sausages, deli meats, and flavored snacks often contain shocking amounts of sodium. Restaurant dishes multiply this problem because chefs rely heavily on salt not just for flavor, but for preservation and texture. Many people who claim they don't eat salty foods are unknowingly consuming far beyond the recommended limit. And kidney damage doesn't happen overnight. It builds gradually, silently, and relentlessly. Sugary drinks don't just harm your waistline. They're one of the top dietary factors contributing to kidney disease. The kidneys are highly sensitive to blood sugar levels because every spike in glucose requires hormonal adjustments, filtration changes, and metabolic shifts. When sugar intake is excessive, the kidneys are forced to process more waste and more metabolic byproducts. But the real danger comes from the combination of high sugar and chemical additives, especially in dark sodas. These beverages contain phosphoric acid, a compound added for flavor, shelf stability, and color, while phosphorus from natural foods is absorbed slowly. Artificial phosphates from sodas enter the bloodstream rapidly and in large amounts, overwhelming the kidneys. Excess phosphorus interferes with calcium regulation, disrupts bone metabolism, and triggers inflammation in kidney tissues. Even worse, sugary drinks contribute to obesity, insulin resistance, fatty liver, and type 2 diabetes, all of which are major risk factors for chronic kidney disease. People who drink soda daily often experience increased protein leakage in their urine, an early marker of kidney damage. Replacing soda with water, unsweetened tea, or natural drinks is one of the simplest yet most powerful steps you can take to protect your kidney health. Processed meats are dangerous for three main reasons: sodium, phosphate additives, and nitrates. To keep processed meats stable on shelves and flavorful for long periods, manufacturers add large quantities of preservatives. These ingredients dramatically increase the kidneys' workload. Phosphate additives are particularly harmful because the kidneys must regulate phosphorus with great precision. When phosphorus levels rise, the body pulls calcium from the bones to rebalance minerals, which triggers hormonal changes that ultimately strain the kidneys. Nitrates and curing agents contribute to inflammation and oxidative stress, further damaging kidney tissues. Even small daily amounts, a slice of bacon, a sausage, a few pieces of deli meat, accumulate over the years, increasing the risk of kidney dysfunction. Protein is essential for muscle repair, immune function, and overall health. But the modern obsession with high-protein diets, protein shakes, meat-heavy meals, protein bars, and low-carb, high-protein trends has created a new kind of kidney risk. When you eat protein, your body breaks it down into amino acids, and the waste products must be eliminated through the kidneys. If protein intake is excessively high, the kidneys must filter more urea, more nitrogen, and more metabolic waste. For healthy individuals, occasional high-protein meals aren't a problem. But long-term high-protein dieting causes hyperfiltration, where the kidneys are continuously forced to work harder. Over time, this leads to structural damage and nephron exhaustion. People with undiagnosed early kidney issues, diabetes, or hypertension are especially vulnerable. Because their kidneys are already under stress, moderation is key. You don't need to avoid protein. You just need to avoid overloading your kidneys with more than they can handle. Potassium is essential for nerve function, muscle contraction, and heart rhythm. Most healthy kidneys can regulate potassium effortlessly, but when kidney function is impaired, even slightly, potassium becomes dangerous. Excess potassium in the blood affects the heart and can lead to life-threatening complications. Some foods extremely high in potassium include bananas, oranges, potatoes, tomatoes, spinach, avocados, and certain beans. These foods are healthy for most people, but for those with early kidney impairment, consuming them in large amounts may worsen mineral imbalance. This is why individuals with early kidney issues must monitor potassium intake closely. What's healthy for one person may be harmful for another. Ultra-processed foods are arguably the biggest threat to modern kidney health. They combine nearly every kidney-damaging component in one package: refined sugars, refined carbohydrates, chemical additives, preservatives, flavor enhancers, unhealthy fats, phosphorus additives, excessive sodium. When consumed regularly, these foods create chronic inflammation, oxidative stress, and hormonal imbalance. They reduce insulin sensitivity, elevate blood pressure, disrupt electrolyte balance, and overload the kidneys with chemicals the body was never designed to process. What makes ultra-processed foods so dangerous is not just their composition, but their convenience and addictive nature. People eat them daily without thinking, often as snacks, lunch replacements, or quick meals. Over decades, this dietary pattern becomes the perfect recipe for kidney decline. Protecting your kidneys doesn't require complicated diets or eliminating all your favorite foods. It requires awareness and balance. Here are foundational strategies that support long-term kidney health. Prioritize whole foods over processed ones. Stay hydrated to support optimal filtration. Reduce sodium by reading labels and avoiding restaurant excess. Limit sugary beverages and eliminate dark sodas entirely. Choose lean, moderate portions of protein. Monitor phosphorus additives by avoiding heavily processed meats. Manage weight and blood sugar to reduce kidney strain. Get your kidney function tested regularly, especially if you have risk factors like hypertension or diabetes. The kidneys are remarkable organs, but they need your support. With the right habits, you can preserve kidney function for decades and avoid the silent decline that affects millions of people. Every meal you eat is a message to your kidneys. It either adds strain, adds inflammation, adds unnecessary waste, or it nourishes, protects, and supports long-term health. Most people will never see kidney damage coming because symptoms appear late, but you don't need to wait for warning signs. You can begin protecting your kidneys now simply by understanding the foods that silently damage them and making smarter, more conscious choices. Your kidneys work for you every second of every day. It's time to start working for them too.